Hey, Tony Gassett here, popping in. Now, wanted to talk to you and kind of touch back on what we was talking on yesterday because it was pretty interesting. I was able to read some of the comments and just kind of see where people are. And it's a glimpse into our world. And if you didn't get to see the video yesterday where I was talking about, it was RVW overturned, and you could see the comments and see people thoughts and feelings, and I want you to share with me because I don't know everything, and I just could kind of look on the outside and try to guesstimate. Yesterday I threw out a couple of ideas that I know what people will pull from somewhere and see it certain ways, and just understanding how people think, how we think as humans. And some of the people, I saw some comments like, hey, Tony, them theories that you threw out there is spot on, and I kind of felt like it would be a couple different angles that people could see from it. And one of the things that I also noticed is there was a good amount of women who were like, hey, I'm glad that it's overturned. And it shows you the complexity of humans because as a man, I'm a man. So I don't fully understand everything about a woman's body. And I know nothing about what it feels like to be a woman. And so for me, I'm kind of like, leave a woman's body up to her, and leave a person's fate up to God, or meaning like what you choose to do in your life. The Bible tells me not to judge so that I be not judged. And I also realize that humans have free will, but also that countries have laws. And we are expected to obey the laws of the land, and how those laws are set and made. That's kind of perplexing to, I think, a lot of us, because until you get in that position, I guess, if you become a senator or something, or you working in politics, then it may make more sense to you. But just for those of us who are not in politics, sometimes things are very confusing. But my question to you is, what does this say? And I'm learning from y'all, and ideally you would love for this to be everybody in the comments have a picture, have a name, so that you're getting real feedback and not just trolls and people just intentionally being an idiot, versus it being a real person sharing a real thought. But I'm curious, what the ladies have to say, and even the guys who see this, because I saw some men commenting. What does this say about women's rights? Because I went on my Twitter, and I got to look this up because I got through school, but I wasn't paying the most attention at all times. Oh, what I'm getting ready to do right here, y'all, is it just finished doing this, but you're gonna see it on here. Is Birth Your Book. You're gonna see this title, live. Birth Your Book live. And you're gonna see, this is something that I'm doing, that I mentioned this to the people who were just in class with me, this little sidebar, that I wrote these books. And one of them I wrote in 5 days, one of them I wrote in 6 days. I can't remember which one. But I realized not everybody can write their story in a amount of time that they want it to be done. So I'm doing a virtual seminar next month, giving you time to get your ducks in order and, put your savings up in case. It's only going to be $97, but I know with the way budgets are and the way bills are, sometimes that account ain't got that 97. And it's 97, the cheapest I could do it, because I'm giving you a blueprint. I'm gonna give you a blueprint now that has earned me multiple six figures. And so that's why I'm charging a little more than the normal virtual seminar. And then also, I don't want it to be 1 million people. So we'll have us a nice little small group, because there's not many people that invest in themselves on that level. And we learned that in the class that I just did today, that was $25. They got to see that it's slim at the top for a reason, because most people don't want to do the work or make the investment or what have you. So you're going to see it on Tony Gaskins Academy. It'll be like the first course on there. And it will say in the description, virtual seminar, live virtual seminar in the description. And I'm doing it at the same time, live virtual seminar. And right now it's gonna be July 30th, 2022 at 12 p.m. Eastern. Space is limited. Space is limited. So if you haven't taken the Birth Your Book course, then you will get access to the content that's in the Birth Your Book course. If you have taken it, then this still is additional. So you would go to TonyGaskinsAcademy.com and sign up for this Birth Your Book version. The content will be the same in the actual course, but that's just bonus content for this right here in essence. But the live seminar, I'm teaching you a little something different, but I'm just using the same, it has the same course content and description and all of that. But you'll have the information just in case you haven't taken the Birth Your Book course. But most people have. This is for people who have taken the Birth Your Book course, really. Actually, let me change that. The information, the actual information on the Birth Your Book course won't be in here. You signing up for the live seminar. So let me correct that. Because then I'm going to have people, oh, well, I took the Birth Your Book seminar, the Birth Your Book course, so I should get this for free, because people who sign up for this, they just paying one time. And they getting all that for free. So I have to change that. Got to change that. So listen, I would love to know from you. I would love to hear from you. What do you think this says about women's rights going forward? Because yes, there's a lot of people who feel that it's wrong for a woman to get that procedure. There's a lot of people who feel that it is being used as contraceptive. And there's a lot of people who feel that it should be left up to the woman to make her decision. And there's reasons that people feel a woman should be able to get the procedure, because if she didn't, if she was forced and things of that nature. And there was somebody who wrote in an email to my book, Tony at Tony Gaskins. I deleted it without reading it, because I don't read unsolicited emails of opinions about my work or my content, because as a content creator, I have to guard my eyes and ears, because I got to do the work and do the videos and create the conversations that'll move the needle forward based on how I'm feeling and what I feel I need to do. So if I'm listening to, especially as an introvert and a shy person and a person who lets fear of critique and what people gonna think hold me back a lot of times, as that type of person, I gotta take and guard my eyes and ears from unsolicited opinions. So y'all understand that. And when you have an opinion that's super duper strong versus, if I didn't ask you for your opinion, to put your opinion in the comments. So if I ask you for your opinion, I'm gonna ask you for it in the comments like we doing, because that way you can converse. But don't send me an email trying to sway me or preach at me or come at me no type of way, because this ain't about me and you. This about the people, and this is about creating dialogue so that we can better understand one another, and we can see where people speaking from, where people coming from, so that we have an understanding of this human race and a glimpse into where we are as a people, and also a glimpse into where we're going as a people. So that's what this is about. So what I would love if you could share with me, because I'm learning from y'all, and especially the women, I'm getting to see how y'all feel about this. But because when I went on Twitter, that's what I was getting ready to say, and then of course got ready. But when I went on Twitter, what I saw was a senator respond to Barack Obama's tweet. So Barack tweeted that, this thing that has been done, it has upended, this precedent, and that it has taken away the choice from women over their body. And there was a senator, it looked like he's in Texas, who retweeted Barack, and he put on the top of it, now overturn Plessy versus Ferguson. For y'all history buffs, y'all know exactly what that is. I need to learn more about these things, and for those who don't know about those things, this is a landmark decision of the United States Supreme Court, in which the court ruled that racial segregation laws did not violate the U.S. Constitution as long as the facilities for each race were equal in quality. Okay, that's a little longer thing. Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896. Okay. And he said Brown versus the Board of Education. And he was like, okay, now let's do Plessy versus Ferguson and Brown versus Board of Education, which both of those are race-based, to the best of my knowledge now, and seeing this. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, so some of these politicians getting a little frisky, getting a little beside themselves. Like, whoa, he said, okay, let's overturn everything. Nah. And so I saw people saying that. So when it comes to, and I saw somebody say something that at first I was like, that's a little outlandish. But now I'm taking some time to think about it, to say, like, our world has, especially the United States, has done some things in the history of the USA that is head scratching, to say the least. Some of the things are absolutely disgusting. Some of the things are appalling, especially if your ancestors was in the field like mine. So we know what we're talking about now. And now some people cannot handle this real talk, but these conversations that need to be had. Now, what does it say about the rights of people? And if this is seen by women as a right of women, whether it's right or wrong, because there were some women who said, hey, I'm a Christian. I don't believe that you should take a life, but I believe that if a woman want to make that decision, and if she is in sin, and if she wants to stand before God with that on her hands, then that's her choice. Let her have that choice, because that's her body. And I saw that argument being made, and I saw people saying, well, this is also going to, if it's left up to the states or what have you, for the states that say, okay, we no longer doing this procedure, people saying that's also going to lead to more women taking their own life, more women being, unable to be there and do what they need to do for their child. And so taking the life of the child, like I told you, the young lady did, who was a cheerleader, took the life of her child because she didn't want to be a mother, but I guess didn't want to tell her parents she was pregnant and to go get the procedure. So people said that. And I saw people saying, hey, this going to lead to the old methods. This going to lead to people flying to other states or flying to other countries, and that the people who can afford to fly to another state, if it's legal in this state right here, that state going to be flooded with those people and still getting it done. And it'll just be the ones who can afford it going to get it done, and the ones who can't afford it, they just gonna be, without. Now I saw somebody say that the minorities and the lower incomes was able to get that procedure done. Now I done knew a few people had to get the procedure done, and I ain't know nothing about it being covered by medical, or somebody said, oh, medical care or medical insurance or something, but that was kind of naive because a lot of people still don't have medical insurance, even though it was supposed to be required, or you get taxed, get charged on you. A lot of people don't have medical coverage and medical insurance. As a newsflash, a lot of people do not have medical insurance. In case those of you who work a corporate job, who you done had medical insurance for as long as you can remember, I want to let you know, especially us entrepreneurs, it is a lot of entrepreneurs. 90% of entrepreneurs don't have medical insurance. I'm going to tell you that now. If you're an entrepreneur with medical insurance, you in the 10%. You in the 10%. I'm going to tell you that now. And a lot of people don't have medical insurance because I remember even when it was the Obamacare, when everybody started, I know everybody in my family, when everybody started to look up the prices, it was $400 a month, $800 a month, and it was supposed to be affordable. And these companies and I remember people in my family saying, listen, I'm looking at the Obamacare, I'm looking at the providers, I'm looking at the people, the companies that's providing the insurance $400. Where am I get $400 a month from? And they could not afford it. And okay, you get a fine on your taxes or whatever, for that year or two. I think they ended that, I believe. Y'all correct me if you're a tax preparer, CPA, if they ended the fine on the taxes for not having medical insurance. But everybody don't have that. So everybody I know who got the procedure, it was a price attached to it. $300, $750. I done heard as much as $1,500. That actually was that's a whole scam that some women do. Not y'all, of course, because y'all on here watching the video, but I work with pro athletes, and I work with over 400 NBA players alone, not to mention the athletes from all the other sports. And it was a thing to where some of these guys, like, you sleep with this woman, they could even use protection, but there's a thing that people think that, oh, the rubber bust, or oh, it's still something got out, or oh, and so guys will go back to their house, back to their state, back to their whatever, if they done flew the woman in, and the woman write them and say, hey, send them a picture or a video of a positive pregnancy test, or just tell them and say, I need $1,500. But that woman done slept with 5-10 different men in that month, and 5-10 different men the next month, and getting $1,500. And I remember being a mentor to pro athletes, that was the number that they were being told, 1,500. And that was kind of high from the women I knew personally, but it could, that was around 300 to 700. Y'all went, and it could be different from state to state. It could be different from county to county. It could be different based on how far along you are. So let's understand that. And because a lot of times people be talking about stuff and we be saying stuff like it's law, like it's gospel, and it be different from place to place, state to state, company to company. You never know with these companies, if you come in there and they tell you one price and then somebody else come in there and they tell them another price, because they ain't getting regulated that closely to where they being audited every month to see how much they charge black people, how much they charge white people, how much they charge Hispanic people. So we really don't know about the behind the scenes codes that these companies that do these procedures could have. And it's all very real. But somebody said something, they was like, well, what about in the future if they overturn women's right to vote? Now, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's a possibility that if they saying you ain't got the right to go do this, if the state say you ain't got the right to go do this, Brown versus Board of Education, but a series of the court's later decisions beginning with 1954 decision Brown v. Board of Education, which held that the separate but equal doctrine is unconstitutional in the context of public schools and educational facilities, have severely weakened Plessy to the point that it is considered to have been de facto overruled. So I wonder why the man, if Plessy already kind of overruled, and why the man said, okay, now let's do, I wish I knew the senator's name here in Texas, but you'll see it when it was trending on my Twitter. And a bunch of people saying, say that you're a racist without saying you're a racist, talking to the guy, because it was a white male saying, now let's revisit Brown versus Board of Education. I'm like, man, this is 2022. This was a real account. Like, this man, so is he saying let's revisit having segregated schools, that we could have segregated schools as long as they equal? I'm like, because if he really saying that, like, wow, and you walk in the streets, like you out here just living, just willy-nilly, just racist as you want to be, a senator, like, man, that's crazy. It's crazy. And so here's the thing. And this is why I was telling y'all that I don't put it past men, if it was majority men who voted on this stuff, and if it was majority white men who voted on this stuff, me knowing men and me being around men, black men, white men, Hispanic men, one thing about men is we're very territorial, we're very insecure, we're very controlling. So I don't put it past a group of men of the same race to say, hey, too many of our people are getting this procedure and we are being weakened and lessened in number, whereas others are growing so rapidly in number. So let's, try to slow this down a little bit by making it a little harder for this procedure to be done so that our people can have kids, so that when they lay down and they want to sleep with somebody, that they got to go ahead and live with that, because that's going to increase our population. I don't put that past men of any race if it was the other way around, of whichever way it is. Or for whatever reason, whatever this agenda is, if it's money-based, if it's population-based, if it's, I don't know what it is. I'm just out here guessing like the rest of y'all. So that's why I'm saying let's have a little dialogue as people and let's see where everybody at, and let's pull a little bit from everybody and just kind of see, without calling each other names and all of the nonsense, but I'm just a little curious. And I got to take my sons to boxing training today, starting meeting a new guy who do some boxing training. And so I got to get going. But I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And for those of you aspiring authors who want to learn how I write my story in 30 days or less, I'm going to give you my blueprint. And you can look these books on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, see the reviews on them. And this a book I wrote in 5 days or 6 days. I can't remember which one was 5 and which one was 6. But both of these books, and some of y'all done read these books. So I'm going to give you my blueprint of how I tell my story, how I write my stories in a concise amount of time. And hopefully it benefits you. So I'm publishing this right now. And it's going to be, and I'm going to put in this curriculum, add a chapter, Zoom info, and I'm going to put, add a lesson, text. Okay, so y'all join me July 30th on the Birth Your Book. Grab your spot, space is limited, and we're gonna be making this thing happen. It'll give you a little time. Guess what happened? Life lesson. I posted almost every day, every video. Posted. Class coming. Class is Saturday. Send out an email. 2 hours left or 3 hours left. Class coming. Registration closed at midnight. Whole bunch of people writing in after midnight. Can I get in the class? Oh, I missed it. Now I get if you was out of town or whatever, this or that. But if you saw it and you procrastinated, that's a life lesson. The same thing gonna happen with this. The night before, registration cuts off, or if it fills up first, then it'll cut off. And I have to decide on, based on what I see, what's the right amount of people so that we can have a good Q&A and a good talk, and everybody gets a chance to ask a question if they have one. So make sure you check out Birth Your Book Live is what it's called. And so what I'll do, just to avoid confusion, because people, somebody bound to try me. Oh, I signed up for the other one, thinking that I was signing up. No, you didn't, because now it's hidden. It's hidden and it's private. I'm gonna make it hidden and private, so you can't sign up for the regular Birth Your Book. So because it's not even available. So now what you will see is the Birth Your Book Live, which is the live seminar, virtual seminar. It's going to be on Zoom. And if you don't want to be in that one and you just want the regular course because you don't want to learn how to write your book, in a certain time period, then I'll let you know when the other one opens back up. God bless you. We'll talk soon.